Today's first reading is the famous passage from 1 Corinthians, in which Paul talks about the body of Christ and the many parts God has designed for the sake of the whole body, apostles, prophets, teachers, and so on. As a body, quote, has many parts, and all the parts of the body, though many, are one body, so also is Christ. The image is one which surely worked then, and indeed still does now. The church year, as you know, has two basic cycles: the temporal cycle, or the proper of time, and the sanctoral cycle, or the proper of the saints. The proper of time, Christmas, from Advent through Epiphany, ordinary time, the Easter cycle, Lent through Pentecost, and ordinary time again. The sanctoral cycle is divided into solemnities, feasts, obligatory memorials, and optional memorials. Today offers an interesting conjunction of two optional memorials with the first reading. Hildegard of Bingen, 1098 to 1179, and Robert Bellarmine, S.J., 1542 to 1621, when placed side by side, are two so differently but both richly gifted members of Christ's body. The Italian Bellarmine was an ecclesiastic who revitalized biblical and patristic studies in his time. In a 3-volume work called Controversies, Bellarmine examined the teachings of the Reformers and described the primary and proper power of the papacy as spiritual, an idea which in his time came close to being condemned. Cast your minds back to the modern European history you learned in school, and it will become clear why this teaching was considered a threat to papal power. After numerous wars and the unification of Italy in 1870 to the Lateran Treaty in 1929 between the Vatican and Mussolini, not only was Bellarmine's teaching finally accepted, we take it for granted today, but he was finally canonized and proclaimed a doctor of the Church in 1931. In Paul's description of the riches of the body of Christ, he is certainly an outstanding teacher. And you can buy Controversies and other works on Amazon. I am sure he's very happy in his stained glass perch to the left of the sanctuary at Holy Trinity. The companion of Bellarmine in the pair of optional memorials in this vibrant portrait of the body of Christ, which Paul has given us, is Saint Hildegard of Bingen, a saint in the Roman, Anglican, and Lutheran traditions, and also a doctor of the Church, proclaimed by Pope Benedict XVI in 2012. Hildegard's gifts and works almost make a mockery of Paul's division of labor, as she was a teacher, a healer, an administrator, and more. She was a musician, a mystic, a foundress, a poet, an artist, and a preacher. She is considered the founder of natural history, that is, science, in Germany, a physician who used herbs and natural substances to heal. She was not immune to politics either, founding more than one abbey, engaging in ecclesiastical controversies, preaching publicly throughout Germany, denouncing clerical corruption, and calling for reform. She spoke out. A woman of the 12th century, she was widely known. She was widely known and respected then, and in the words of Benedict XVI, is, quote, perennially relevant. As Christians, we have a great treasury of what women and men have given to the body of Christ, of which we too are gifted members. As we celebrate the gifts of Hildegard and Robert Bellarmine, we might pause to reflect on our own gifts. We are not, Paul tells us, all prophets, teachers, healers, or workers of mighty deeds. But we do each have God-given gifts which we can develop and offer to the body of Christ for the building of God's reign of justice and peace.